Hello, and welcome back. I don't even know if you have noticed, but I always start my recording session so you see the beginning of the game for a good reason, so that you see that I actually am starting at this point. I don't wander off around the map, which is why I always have a bit of a recap, because I am not 100% sure. I think that's probably why some content creators do it that way, but I like to let's grab this Sammy as well. No, we don't need the big Sammy. I'm sure we don't need two tractors down at the animals. Yeah, I do remember I did my recording session. Oh, what? Wow. They're in the final green stage. Didn't expect that. Oh my life. Midsummer. Wow. Ah, today is the day. No, see, now the grass seems to be growing rapid again. After the entire spring of no cuts, and then we cut this 2 days ago, and now this is growing. It's almost like the game has caught up with itself, but the canola, that is amazing. I really didn't expect that. Right, animals. Actually, let me just... some canola. Oh wow, we are in the harvest season. Well, I can't get over the short window from planting to actually harvesting for canola. That's phenomenal. So I don't think we are going to be terribly long before that actually. Let's put the times up to ×5. Before that changes, so we're going to be busy with harvesting soon then. I'm glad I did buy the harvester. So at some point today, that massive load of bales has got to go over. That is probably going to be most of this recording session. I'm going to be literally dragging those bales over to the BGA and processing. It's going to be quite a big job. I don't know whether on that one to only record part of it. I'm unsure. Different content creators do this in different ways. I actually like Frithgar's approach on some of his hardcore series where he literally just shows you everything. I actually like that myself. That's what I was going to do. No, wrong one. I need to look at... let's knock that off. Let's see. Now. Is that the last orange state? Or no, it's the middle orange, isn't it? So we've still got one more growth stage. So that's actually 2 days. Yeah, it was on 1, and we are 2 days further on, and we're still not in the orange growth stage that gives us a 50% bonus. So that's 2 days. Bearing in mind, we've just looked at the other field that is now growing. In fact, yeah, let's just do that as a comparison. They are in the first green or second green, by the look of it. Second green growth stage, so they're only 3 stages away, probably 2 days away from being caught. Whereas that's 1 or 2 days from moving on. So yeah, it does look like, to be honest, you're almost a complete growth stage away. So that I am right in what I said. Which is that you get less cuts and so therefore less money. So really it isn't as profitable as manure. Oh, another load. That is getting to be a full load a day now. 40,000 a day, that's not bad. So I've got, milk. 12,000. That's only since yesterday, I think. She says, I think. Right. Oh, it was the other way. I was forwards all the time, let's remember. Let's go and swap these over. Let's put this on this side. I think that's a better place than the where I used to put it. Right, bucket. Let's get that total mixed ration off the ground as well. I don't think there's quite enough room. No, there isn't. I need to get the Sammy out of the way. Didn't think there was quite enough room. So you just walk through my shovel. Be in the right place. No, I'm not. Too far backwards. Ooh. Post there, Mr. Smith. Now, there's quite a considerable amount in that. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Oh, actually it is. This is the one thing I'm just reminding myself of what I said to you guys at the beginning. With a Volvo, it can't cope with a full 8,000 and I'm about to fill it up. So not necessarily a good idea. Might as well do that while we're at it though. Let's get that off the ground. see if we can get away with that. I'd like to learn the limits on what you can and can't do, how far it can go before it's... That is definitely leaning a little heavily forward, but you'd expect that. Oh, wow. That's it. That is very useful. That's a additional game setting where it shows you your fill level. In fact, yeah, I've done the cleaning already. Yes, I'm definitely thinking I was totally right all along about the additional 50% isn't worth it. Not when you consider by the time that is going to be ready, I'm going to be one cut ahead. So, yeah. Which means I'm going to be 100%. Let's lock that off. Okay, a little bit. Unless we don't need any. Which we don't. Okay then. Straw it is. Water. I haven't done water. Water. Let's get that sorted. And then we'll send the milk off. Wow, it's gone up since I last looked. Wow, 15,000. Fantastic. Right, so then. Thing I've done. I'm going to fill the... actually, no, the little Sammy, I think that struggles a bit. The miller machine does have quite a... Let's try it. Let's not flap my lips, let's get a bit of work done. Let's just try it out. I'm almost sure this is not quite strong enough to... Oh, it is, from the grass cutting. That is a really amazing detail from all that grass cutting. Wow. See the damage coming back with this. It's so bad, I'm almost tempted when we can afford it to actually buy a brand new Sammy and sell this one. Because it's just costing way too much to keep on respraying it all the time. I don't know, as I said, I'm keeping my eye on this because I've always thought it was such a balanced mod, the used equipment mod, but since playing this Let's Play and actually focusing more on that, you now begin to think, it's got quite a high cost if you have to respray it every 2 or 3 days. That's definitely... yeah, that's right. Oh, it's not struggling that much, really. Oh, it is a little in comparison to the big Sammy, it's definitely not. know. It's weird. I always find it does better in this view than it does in that one. It's almost like it. Yeah, well, that's working fine now. But earlier it wasn't. It wasn't picking up properly. Wow. Always spin that around that way a little. Would like to drop this off where I like it. You like it tucked over there out the way of the animals. Right. Let's take this over to the BG. Oh, no, let's not. That's ready for the big Sammy. That it really does struggle with the full 40 tons of manure. There's no way I'm making it struggle all the way to the BGA. So, we've done all of the field work, but we've got the harvesting soon to do. Now that means when that does happen, I'm going to need to use that, the bean use, that's going to be my main. So we're going to need to wash that. So let's go and fetch the Sammy, empty that, wash it out. It won't matter if the manure builds up over the next 2 or 3 days into another full load. In fact, you know, like to 120,000, something like that. That's quite. Oh wow, the damage on that. Oh, actually, no, that's the grey. No, I don't need fuel. We're good on that. Doing the big Sammy. I was going for a trial run to the BGA. We'll just swap tractors. I think we're going to leave these near the bales though, because we're going to probably need this later for running one of the two. May need the Volvo back over here later as well. For sticking the a few of the bales onto that other trailer, because I think we're going to be using everything. Although no, I think that was what I was thinking in my head, was run the auto load and run that back and forth to the BGA. Let's have a look at the. Let's have a look. Not sure if it'll be silage yet. No, grass. I know what I'm going to do, because I haven't bought the tool yet, have I? To be honest, the additional info ones are so good that you often don't need this, but it is more in harmony with the seasons to buy the MT9. No, oh, 9 hours to go. It's very exact. So 9. Oh, that's. So it's going to be very late afternoon. That's all right. Smashing. So at least I was right. That's not too bad. Right. Oh, what am I doing? Big Sammy. Still can't get over the growth stage on the canola. That is, I didn't expect that to be one growth stage off ready. Must admit that even this Sammy, you can feel that it's pulling this. It really is. 40-ton trailer with a big V-News. It's such a heavy trailer. To get it going, it takes quite a considerable amount of power. The build-up's quite a while, and also slowing down. Yeah, after this one. There's another car that is a while away. There's another few cars. This needs a bit of fuel at some point. I think I said that yesterday when I was dropping off the manure. That we need knots to have manure behind us for me to drop in and grab some fuel. Oh, car coming. Should beat it. To be quite smooth. Oh, wow, yeah, that's not a good idea with 40 tons behind you. Wow, that's actually, I think I only did that yesterday game, so one important thing is I do want this washed for realism's sake after that manure load, so we may well be harvesting at some point soon. I only did that yesterday, so it's not going to need repairing. Right, what we're going to do is turn that up to 60 for whilst we go and get the liquid trailer. Let's drop this off. In fact, let's get some fuel. It's a nice shiny clean thing now. There's no garage owner can complain about that, can they? I don't think. Brilliant. Just one this way. Shut this gate after this one. So I definitely feel scientifically justified in doing a single cut over doing the extra 50%. There's too much time wasted. You would lose lots of cuts over the year, so that 50% is actually just not as good. It's not worth it. Even if it doubled, you're still in essence losing the same amount of cuts. So maybe alright in the base game, but the gaining of cuts in seasons from grass doing it the natural way, it's usually about 3 or 4 days in between cuts, which means you do get quite a few cuts in a year, which is a very good way of getting progression. Whereas if you were using the same field for crops on an English map, you're only going to get the one. I know in some of the Europeans and the Americans one, you can actually just about manage to get 2 plantings and harvestings, can't you? But not on the British maps. Which is true to farming in Britain. I'm not complaining, just right. Let's get that sorted. Having done this a few times, I realise this is going to produce exactly 16,000 in digestate. Now I must remember, let's try not to have any accidents with gateposts on this particular episode. Way left. This is what I was saying yesterday. We spent all of our money, which was quite a lot of money if I remember rightly. We had nothing. With the milk and the manure from yesterday, the digestate from the BGA at the payout from the BGA at 12 o'clock, and the digestate from today, we're going to be, I would say, almost back up to 100,000. There comes a certain time, especially with animals. What am I doing? Especially with animals, where oh no, that's still no good. Right, I'm going to change view. Where you're earning very, very quickly. And within the day, you've got the milk money and the manure and I'm to press my bumper button at the same time as right, smashing. Now, I want to be concentrating completely on gateposts as we go through, because this field is becoming infamous in my head. as I said early on, placement of mods is paramount. We had really no choice. This was the only field we could have put the slurry yard in, but going in and out to the slurry yard, you can really see that having a wider gate post would be really, like say at the farmyard if there was room. There we go. So, in the space of 24-hour period, we've gone from minus, just into the minus, to back up to, let's have a look, we're finished. And then we've got the payout from the BGA this evening. In fact, if that turns, hang on a minute, I've forgotten. I'm not going to be far off the silage turning of the all the bales. I just left the timing on 60 for too long. Wow. Back up to nearly 93,000. Right, let's go and have a look at those bales. They may have actually turned to silage. I think it's going to be a bit later into the evening, if I'm honest. That might actually make an episode itself. That's really going to be probably the biggest bumper payout this year, I would have thought, which is going to be perfect because tomorrow on 04 is the perfect day for buying cows. So I really do want to concentrate on building that second starting enclosure so that next year or later in the year we can buy the big bumper lone oaks. Why did I do that? Weird instinct that I was doing something wrong going that way, but I'm not. That's where I did want to go. Still, it doesn't hurt to go through the farmyard. Right. Let's go and have a look at those bales. I think there'll be another two, I think about 7ish, I think. Let's just see. Let's have a look at the fields. Yeah, still, thank goodness for that. That suddenly popped from green to maybe in the morning, I'm not sure. Are we in the harvest window? Yeah, we are. So they could be ready in the morning. Oh wow, perfect, less than 1 hour to go. Brilliant. Okay then, in that case, yeah, we've got a full trailer there, haven't we? Makes more sense actually to take the big Sammy. Even though the little Sammy can manage this, it is a heavy weight. We'll just leave the auto load though, especially with having to take, I think we worked it out, it was 80 odd bales. The auto load would be, again, for flowing. What we could do then, if it's less than an hour, it's going to be 6:45-ish. Still do a check though when I get down there. I don't want to be dropping grass into the digester. Even if it accepts it, the payout would be so considerably less. Obviously not in harmony with what we're trying to achieve. Don't want to make any silly mistakes. Great demand at turbine grain. Too early for us, unfortunately. So I'm not even going to bother to torment myself by looking to see what it is. Yeah. Let's see if we can get this right. I'm not always good with the big summer here. That's not bad. Nearly did it. Well, I did really, I suppose you could say. Oh, that's gone a bit far over the back. This is one time when game mechanics, the only thing you possibly could do would be to get in there with a shovel. You know, the game mechanics won't allow it, so it's the one time when really you've got no other option but to use superhuman strength. Oh, I said I was going to check and I didn't do that. I've just thrown them straight in. Right, let's turn that up to 60. What I'm going to... Oh, just taking them straight off there. I'll have to pick those ones at the back up afterwards, no doubt, with doing 2 or 3 loads. There's going to be quite a bit of those at the end of this. So that's the first 36. Right, let's do that 120. It's not going to hurt. Knew that we were going to be spending some time doing this. Don't go any faster than 120 there. If we go to 2000, it's going to zip so quickly, it's going to be unbelievable. I think this may be over 2 days though, looking at this. I don't think there's going to be enough time to... Brilliant, they've gone. So... It's not quite right, is it? Okay, let's go get the... Right, let's turn time down. We'll still leave it to digest though, because otherwise it's still wasting time when we're waiting for the digester to completely digest. Let's go and get another 36. I really do love this street at night. Absolutely phenomenal. Beautiful. The lighting effects are just breathtaking. So I'm like almost like watching a fireworks show. Still got my indicator on. Yeah, I did set it. Not sure if I do. Let's get all the tag ones. There's a few on the field itself, so let's grab those. I get that. Yeah, I did. Whoa, now that was a close shave. I will drive around at 90 miles an hour. So that's 72. Let's turn that down now to ×5. Still punk on that radio. Now that wouldn't be my choice, so don't think that's me. I like a bit of everything, but I'm not a massive fan of punk. Which has probably alienated a lot of people, but no, I must admit I do like a lot of different types of music actually. I'm not saying I don't like any, but it's one a bit like heavy metal. I had a few friends who were heavy metal fanatics when I was younger, but it's I like relaxing and nice music, pop, rock, a little bit of rock, but mainly pop. I do like some classical actually, not opera. Not a big fan of opera. Very big, amazes me the power of an opera singer. Phenomenal, but just I don't know. It's each to their own. Let's try and get this a little better this time. Nearly got it right that time. Just a slight amount of hesitation. Oh yeah, definitely. Let's turn that up now again then. In fact, yeah, I know what makes more sense. It's just... no, they're not going to do anything, but... oh wow, it's still stuck in the digester. That doesn't do anything bad. I just see... go and get the last of the bales while that's digested. We'll worry about picking them up and everything and when we get back. Shouldn't be many more. I think we counted 80 odd, which would be 10-ish bales ish. So this should be the last load. And even that, not a very big load. Oh wow. Not all of that would have digested in that time, so yeah, it will be another load tomorrow. That's still a real bumper payout. I knew it was going to be, I did say that. But it's going to be even bigger because there's going to be 2 now for tomorrow. in fact today, thinking about it. So that is 175,000, and let's turn that down now. I think we just hit the wrong button there. Oh, that looks more than 10 there. I must have got my sums wrong. Oh yeah, definitely. One stuck in the hedge over there. Let's go and grab that. Well, I was definitely out of my sums. Not that I'm complaining. It's going to be a good payout again tomorrow. So that's 72, 92, 94, 98. Whoa. Wow. 99. Wow, that was nearly 3 loads. I was way out on my counting. Way out. This is going to be another really good payout tomorrow then, because a lot of that we put in just won't have digested. I wouldn't have thought in that time, so that's going to be almost the same again tomorrow night. We're going to miss the window of opportunity though for the cows, so what we've got now plus the digestate is we're going to have to do that though, because this is the perfect day for buying cows. So that's 33,000 for the placement of the second cow. You do realise, I know we've gone through in our heads about the cutting of the grass, but I'm now going to be wasting that grass. I never will have cut it, but it did work, as you could see by the growth stages of the other grass versus this, that it's definitely not worth the extra 50%. Which you'll almost get another 100% from a second cut just by waiting for that. Let's see if we can pull close enough to pick some of those up there. I think we're going to have to that's my timer reminded me that I have just reached my... Let's get those in. Still instinctively want to go the wrong way. Oh, I'm still at 50,000. Right, let's speed that up then to 120. In fact, let's give it a bit of a zip. It's nearly the next morning. That was a little bit enthusiastic. Well, I definitely deserve a good sleep through the day coming up. Still, it would not be the first time a farmer has done that, pulled an all-nighter. That's farming all over, isn't it really? It's literally, you can have it very, very busy for 2 or 3, and we've got a harvest coming up soon. In fact, yeah, I'll have a look at that in a minute. I'm going to end the recording session though. We'll literally start tomorrow on just finishing this lot off. Let's just get out though. We'll do the even have to do anything really with this. You just literally touch it. Sorry for the there really is no other way for me to do this other than that. Just imagine I've jumped over and have got my shovel. It's about all. That's it though. Oh, that was only those two. Not too bad. Alright, let's turn that down then. 15 times, and let's... Right, I shall leave it there. Do as I say for once. Right, 177,760. Let's have a look at the animals. Oh wow, 99! Gordon Bennett. Nearly another load of manure. 14,000 milk. God. Fantastic. Right, I know what we're doing tomorrow. We will be building our second one of those, and we'll be literally using as much of that money. Actually, thinking about it, there was about this last year. We'll probably get roughly the same 60 odd animals. Mind you know, we've got the digestate to do, so what we'll do is we will run the digestate. No point in overstacking it though, because obviously the births for next year. If you go to something like 77, you're just over halfway for filling one of those, and that gives you enough growth of those animals to practically fill it the year after, which is not far off where that one's going to be. It's not going to be quite that. I think it'll be, we're at 63, so 126 maximum. So yeah, if we do 70 something on the second one, that would mean that by next year we will have almost 300 cows, not all ready to give birth. Some will be mature, but not actually. Actually, I'm not sure how the game treats them. So, well, we'll have 300 cattle anyway to put into the one low notes for the next year. No point in doing it any sooner because of the growth, unless by some miracle, when we've done all of the digestate, if we could afford the low notes and still cows, which I don't think we will, because that's 270,000 just for the enclosure, and the main important thing this year is buying cows. So yeah, I don't think that's going to work, but we shall see. Never say never. Wait till the fat lady sings, as the saying goes. I don't know if that's a politically correct saying anymore, though. That might be that was fine to say when I was a younger man. I'm not sure if that will be another PC saying now. That's not right to say. I shall have to check this out and scrub it if I'm wrong. Right, thank you very much for watching. This has been an absolutely amazing episode. Done an awful lot, and we've certainly seen a huge turnaround from... Let's turn my time down to ×5. Huge turnaround from having nothing to... Well, not this morning, we did have some money, but yesterday morning we had minus, and we're now up to 178. Of course, I did know this with the bumper BGA payout, so... Right, enough waffling. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you'll continue on this journey with me. It's actually hotting up. We should be having a harvest very soon. Building that second cow enclosure and filling it with cows practically to the rafters, so it's going to ramp up the food costs. So we might need to buy some more or bigger trailers, maybe to double up on all of the trailers we've got. Well, I don't know, we might be able to manage with what we've got. We shall see. We shall cross that bridge when we come to it, as the saying goes. So again, without further ado, thank you very much for watching, and I shall hopefully see you again. Thank you, and goodbye.